I think we are good to go.
I'm informing you about what's going on. She's the one who's going to advise.
She's not talking, but he's just explaining.
I'm just explaining. You see, you know, she's our senior counsel. She's the overall head of the legal team. And you know the genesis of this matter involving Aaron Chiza. You can't divorce it from what has been happening in the broader spectrum of all these matters we have been having in the general court martial. It's a continuation of the same. All these matters, you know, the vice president in the Uganda Law Society, even the issue of Ssemakande, it's all part of the whole thing, and we are going to be addressed by senior counsel here. You understand we are in the process of securing a new PC, and the council is going to sit tomorrow, and all those matters are going to be canvassed in this, so that you get a picture of what we are really doing in terms of advancing this protracted legal battle. So senior counsel here.
So firstly, our appearance today was in solidarity with Aaron, because Aaron was unfairly convicted, put in jail for no reason at all, just for representing Dr. Kiza Besige and Obed Rutale. We are very, very concerned. You heard him say, today is the 76th day since he was illegally detained, pursuant to the orders of the court-martial, which has been subsequently found by the Supreme Court to be unconstitutional. There is no reason why Aaron Chiza continues to be in custody. We really are very disappointed. We were hoping that we would come and walk out with him today. We will wait for the 4th. We are hopeful that the judge also, after reading those proceedings, will come to the same conclusion that Aaron is being held unfairly, especially after acquainting himself with the proceedings of the Supreme Court. We were able to go to Italia yesterday in company of the Vice President of the Law Society, a team of lawyers from the East African Law Society, and we have the CEO of the East African Law Society right here with us. Yesterday we had the Secretary General, but he had to return to Arusha. We have a council member of the Law Society of Kenya, Gloria, out there. So the bar in East Africa is concerned that an advocate continues to be held in custody for no offense at all, but representing his client. We are very hopeful that bail will be given. Aaron is in high spirits, but the judicial system, this is an indictment of the justice system in Uganda, that 76 days after pronouncement by the Supreme Court, and in spite of the various applications by Aaron's counsels, he continues to be in custody. We were able also to see Dr. Kiza Besige and Obed Rutale at the Ruzira prison yesterday. They are also holding out there strong, and we are hopeful that their bail application, which comes on the 11th of April for ruling, will be granted. I just want to say this, that the Supreme Court of Uganda gave a beautiful landmark decision that found that the court-martial's trial of civilian is unconstitutional, that the people the court-martial put behind bars continue to languish in custody. Is not a very promising development. I am hopeful that the judiciary of Uganda will acquit itself by doing the right thing. It's also an indictment on the Attorney General's office to oppose bail in a case where the Supreme Court has already pronounced itself on the unconstitutionality of the process is actually to perpetuate injustice. I hope that this will come to an end. And I want to also say, we are aware that the president of the Law Society has been condemned to jail. He's on a journey out of the country, I am informed. But he has not only been condemned to jail, but he has also other warrants pending. This assault on the bar needs to stop. Because now there is fear in the air. How are advocates going to practice? If the head of the bar can be under threat, every advocate in Uganda is under threat. Who will speak out for advocates? Who will speak out for Aaron Chiza? And at that stage, I hand over to the Vice President of the Law Society of Uganda and commend him for his appearance today, for his readiness to be a surety, and for showing solidarity with Aaron and with others yesterday, Dr. Kiza Besige and Obed Lutale, because we visited all of them in his company and the company of the Secretary General of the East Africa Law Society, Council Member Gloria, Law Society of Kenya. So I end by saying again, the bar in East Africa is very, very concerned. And yes, I have applied for a special license to practice in Uganda. In the case of Dr. Kiza Besige, Obed Lutare, and if need be in the case of Aaron Chiza, my application is pending. I'm very hopeful. Otherwise, at the moment, I have no voice in court. I remain a hopeful observer.
Right. We do appreciate the support from Senior Counsel, Matakarua, the East African Bar, the East African Law Society, who have come to stand in solidarity with the Uganda Law Society amidst all that we are facing. Just to add a bit on her submission, which is very clear, we are hopeful that the court will expedite this matter. We shall have Aaron Chiza out of jail. We feel this is an attack on the members of the bar. When you see the president, like you mentioned, is also having several warrants. We have courts issuing warrants. We have an order of court for his imprisonment. And this is being done by none other than the judiciary. This is the body we believe we should be working with as the bar. Now what we are doing is calling upon the judiciary to remind them that as the bar, as the Uganda Law Society, we must work together with the judiciary. We cannot work separate from each other, and they need us as much as we need them. So we call upon the courts to expedite these matters where the members of the bar are being persecuted. We believe Aaron's case is a case of persecution. There's no reason as to why Kiza Aaron should still be in jail up to now, even after the pronouncement of the Supreme Court. But we are seeing he's still in court. Though we are hopeful that the honorable judge in this matter will deliver the justice that we desire. And as far as the president is concerned, I've always told the members the president is on official duty. But again, we condemn with all the things we've been seeing. Today is Aaron, today is the president of the Uganda Society, the next day to be another member of the bar, and before you know it, the whole of the society, all the members of the society cannot practice. This is setting a very bad precedent. So we call upon the judiciary to expedite. The president has, through his lawyers, filed appeals against these decisions. He's equally challenging the arrest warrant, which was also issued, we believe, erroneously. And what we are calling upon the appellate courts is to ensure that they expedite these matters and we have justice delivered, so that we can all together ensure that there's rule of law in this country. Thank you very much.